Alright, so it's been how long?
About 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks. We're sorry that it has been that long. But
We're back.
what's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation. I'm Brandon,
I'm Lane.
and it's been a while.
Yes, it has.
But I feel like it would not be a Howdying show if we didn't just randomly stop doing it for a little while.
At least that was our first break, and we got to the 7th episode before we actually got to a break. So.
We did. And I don't think we were gone long enough to, consider this a comeback.
Yeah.
So at least that's good.
We were gone for 5 years. We were gone for 3 weeks.
3 weeks? 4 weeks, maybe?
Maybe 4. I don't know. Numbers are hard.
So, what happened was, here's what happened. So, the first episode we missed was the weekend that we went to Disney World. We left for Disney World on a Sunday, which is when we normally release new episodes. And in our last episode that we did record, we said that we were going to get an episode done that weekend as a whole family talking about Disney. But that weekend was just way too crazy, and we should have known that going into it. Yeah, it was a very, very busy weekend, and we should have known that, but we were going to try to do it, but we couldn't make it happen. So we missed that week, and that was no big deal. So then we had talked about recording stuff for the show while we were on vacation.
And then
we didn't do that. We
did one thing on the airplane.
We did. Here, listen. This is it right here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation. I'm Brandon.
I'm Lane.
And we are on an airplane right now.
Yes, we are heading to Orlando, Florida.
We are. We are currently in the air, looking down at the clouds right now. How cool is this?
It's awesome.
How awesome is this?
It's amazing.
This is super cool. So this is Lane's first time on an airplane.
Yes.
And first time on an airplane, and he's done great. He's not scared of anything, so whatever. I was on an airplane once when I was a kid, but I don't really remember it, so this is kind of my first time again. But so far, everything's going real well, and we're having a good time. We're headed to Florida. We'll record stuff all week long for a super cool Disney episode of Howdy Radio. Are you excited?
I'm very, very excited.
I've asked you that every week for the last few weeks, but now we're actually on an airplane headed there.
Yeah.
So excitement level 1,000,000, right?
Yep.
Let me scoot over here and talk to Tyler real quick, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Tyler.
Hello.
We're recording our intro for Howdy Radio while we're on an airplane.
Alrighty.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
You are. Are you handling everything okay?
Yeah.
I think you're doing great. I know you're a little nervous, but I think so far so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you having fun? Can you say this is fun or not so much?
No.
No, not fun.
No, not really.
Have you looked out the window?
Yeah.
Is looking out the window awesome?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, it is, right? I mean, when's the last time you can say that you saw on top of the clouds?
Never.
Never. So how cool is that? So your excitement level is where at this point, since we are actually headed to Disney World?
About a 7.
About a 7.
Yeah.
Why is it not higher? Why is it not a 10?
Because we're not on the ground yet.
Okay, so we're still on the plane.
Yeah.
So once we land, then it's going to be automatic 10?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Liz, I want to get Liz into this. Liz is on the other side of the aisle doing a coloring book. Liz, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing pretty well over here. It's weird being across the aisle, but I like it.
We got 3 of us on one side of the plane, and Liz is on the other. She's just kind of hanging out by herself over there doing some coloring. So we'll talk to you guys later as our trip goes on. Lane, anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty. So that is what we did on the plane. We were in the air on the way to Florida when we recorded that. And that was the only thing that we recorded. We were too busy having fun and enjoying our family vacation, and we weren't able to do it. So then the next weekend, we got back, and the day after we got back, so we got back on a Saturday, and then on that Sunday, we sat down to record a recap episode and it ended up being really, really
Like 5 parts, I'm pretty sure.
5 parts, 4 or 5 parts. I think you might be right with 5. It was really long, and not only
It was 4 days. Wait, how many days did we spend at Disney?
I don't remember.
There was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What?
But I don't know. Okay, so anyway,
What?
so we recorded like this super long 5-part series of like every day of what happened, which was, I mean, it's a really cool thing just as a family for us to have a really cool like spoken word recap of our entire vacation. But then there was a couple things wrong with it. Well, one thing that was wrong with it really was just the way that we record what we record. We have one microphone, and when the 4 of us get around the table to record like that, it doesn't record everybody really well. So in the recording, you can hear me and Liz really well because we're the loudest anyways, but we were also the ones that were more in front of the microphone. And then Lane and Tyler were kind of off to the side, and they're not quite as loud. So it really made the whole balance of hearing everybody, it's not the best quality in the world. And then I thought about making like some little like photo show to go along with the spoken telling of the trip. Does that make sense? Whatever. So I thought about doing that, but I was like, that would take me forever. I just can't do that. So we're going to sometime within this week, I'm going to release all 5 of those. I think there's 5. And we'll just have them on just the regular iTunes and the regular YouTube and everything where we host these shows.
It is 5 because we actually spent 4 days at Disney, then we left Disney, and then we did all of Jacksonville in one episode.
Jacksonville and the Just Coming Home, I think.
Yeah.
All within, yeah. So.
Because we had already recorded for like 4 hours and we wanted to be done.
Yeah, it
so
really
we just
is long.
Yeah,
I think it is about 3.
We recorded like each day in depth.
Yeah.
For
like the
an
Magic
hour.
Kingdom day alone is
goodness.
like, I think an hour and I think it was a little longer than an hour, maybe an hour and 10 or 15 or something like that. So we are going to release those because we feel bad that we led up to the Disney trip and then just kind of left everybody hanging. So the Magic Kingdom episode is probably the one to check out if you're only going to check out one of them. But we'll put them all out there so that everybody can check them out. And we will...
Some people will listen to all of them.
Yeah, definitely. I've had a couple people asking me, and I felt really bad that we kind of dropped off at that point. It was a very unfortunate time for us to drop off. We're sorry. We're back now. And we'll be back for at least 7 more weeks before we get lazy again. But it was the end of the school year. Everything just got busy. We had a lot of soccer games the last couple of weekends and stuff.
Because we had like 2 games a couple of times, like in a weekend.
So everything got hectic, as it always does at the end of the school year. So doing Howdy Radio was just kind of hard to fit in a little bit. And then at the beginning of this weekend, Kyle he tweeted me and said, when is there going to be a new Howdy Radio? I was like, this weekend, I promise. So here it is, Monday night at 9:30.
Even one of my teachers who listens, she was like, so is there any more? And she said that she only listened to 2 of them. And I was like, yeah, there's up to 7. And then we just stopped for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everybody will start listening again. Yeah. So we're sorry we took a break. But look, if you've ever listened to Howdy Radio, you know that stuff's just going to happen sometimes. We do the best with what we can do.
Hashtag we kind of come back.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to look through my notes here. So that catches us up to where we are. So now...
Summertime now.
Now it's summertime. So the kids are officially out of school. It was Memorial Day weekend. So we had a 3-day... Well, I had a 3-day weekend. The kids are just on summer break at this point.
We have a huge weekend.
You do.
We have a 3-month weekend.
Yep. So, so we waited until Monday night at 9:30 now to record this because we had yet another... It wasn't a real busy weekend this weekend, but because the other ones have been so busy, we all just went into super lazy mode.
At least one time we recorded at like midnight.
Yeah, we did. That one time your buddy was over here. Who was... Joe. We recorded Joe pretty late.
That was like 10 o'clock. We did the 12
Okay.
when we went to the Cyclones game, and we had to get that done.
That's right. We're late night people. It is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the week after we did the WrestleMania episode all by itself.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so now it's summertime. We're here. It's summertime. I am not a huge summertime fan because I hate hot weather is my issue. I just don't like hot.
I don't like summer because of bugs.
Bugs?
I'm literally
But bugs
itching
love
a
you.
bug bite right now.
Lane gets lots of bug bites. It sucks for him. I just hate the heat. So what are you looking forward to this summer?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Like,
we have a trip to Mammoth
Yeah.
Cave planned, which is a really cool big cave down in Kentucky, and we're going to go camping
I
and
like that.
go down.
but
You know, you'll really like that. I know you probably don't even really know what to expect out of Mammoth
It's
Cave.
called it's Mammoth Cave, so it's probably a cave that's really big.
That's exactly what it is,
mammoth.
yeah. So we'll go on tours, like, through
Yeah.
these caves and everything. We'll be so
Is
far
that where,
underground.
Like, the big, like, shiny crystal things are? That, like, you can buy at the shops and stuff? That,
Maybe.
Like, from the cave or something?
Possibly. I don't.
I
I
think
went there
so.
when I was a kid, but I don't really remember. That's Lane mentioned earlier. He's like, this is the summer of you redoing things from your childhood
Yeah.
because you went Disney and then you went to Mammoth Cave when you were a kid, and now you're going back, which is true, which is pretty cool. So, but that's in like a week. So then there's the whole rest of the summer. So we always just try to find fun things to do and places to go and stuff. But because we just had our big Disney trip, we don't have a huge summer vacation coming up. We'll just go do little things here and there, and I'm
I
sure
just
you will
stay
play a
home
ton of
and
video
play
games.
Xbox. Yeah, because I do that a lot.
That is what you do. So let's get into our first segment because it's about video games.
Alright, so the first thing we talked about on Howdy in the Next Generation is the Xbox Game Pass. And about 11 weeks later, it has finally came out. So what's about that?
So it came out to Xbox Gold users this week. You get a 14-day free trial for it.
I at least want to try the 14-day trial. I want to try it.
So we don't have it, so we can't actually speak on having it, but I don't think that we actually need to have it to have
If we
an
at least get
opinion
the
on it.
14-day trial, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay if we don't
So
buy
let's
it.
okay. So now that it's out, now there is the list of games that are on it, which obviously that's the most important part of it. There are over 100 games. I would say
Most of them are on Rare Replay. That's one of the reasons you
A lot
said
of
you
them are,
didn't want
yeah.
them.
but hold on. As far as Xbox One versus Xbox 360 games, most of the games are 360 games.
Because they gotta promote backward compatibility.
I got you.
That's how Microsoft works.
Yeah,
Like,
which
they
I'm
have to
totally cool
promote
with that.
everything.
Yeah. So, but I think it's like there's probably like 30 Xbox One games.
No, I wouldn't say that.
40
At least
maybe?
40.
It's definitely not 50-50.
Yeah.
It is for sure more
Like
360
40-60.
games. If not a little bit more than that maybe.
Yeah.
But so like Halo 5 is like the flagship game of this thing, which we bought used in the red box for $6, I think
Yeah.
it was. Maybe not even that much.
No, I think it was $6.
$5-6
I remember we were at Dairy Queen when you bought
Yeah,
it.
it was a really good deal that I found on great Xbox deals on Reddit. So, I mean, I bought that game for next to nothing, essentially. And then, so now that's the flagship game.
I thought they took that off. No, that was... Which one did they remove? I know it wasn't Halo 5, because that's like the first thing.
Yeah, that's the
on
big
it.
game that everybody sees. And I'm like,
And
man,
then
because first of all...
they're going to take it off the first week because they got, like, too many sales on it, and they don't want people to be buying it for $10 instead of $60.
Because for one, I paid next to nothing for that game, and two, it's just not that good of a game. So you put the two together. But that's the main game, and then a bunch of the other games, like Lane said, the Rare Replay game that I have, there's a ton of games from that on there. Which Rare Replay was an awesome game.
Back to Halo 5. It was a good game if you actually, because there was some good game modes. There was like a soccer game mode with the big hammer things. That was like the best Halo thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
If you were to play that, you would play that game.
I admittedly did not put a whole lot of much time
Me and
into
Tyler,
it.
me and Tyler first opened the game, and when we first saw it, we thought it looked like Halo 1. But, like, we didn't actually look into it that much, and then we just talked a bunch of smack about it.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't really get into it, but So there's that. There's all those rare replay games. There's just a lot of stuff from the gold that you get every month. The games with the gold, and so I mean we've been members of Games with Gold for 2 years since we've had our Xbox One.
Yeah.
3 years, 3
No,
years.
it's been the whole entire time we have it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how long we've
2
had our
years.
Xbox One. Okay.
We got it.
So we've had gold since we got our Xbox One.
When did
So
the
we've
Master
got
Chief Edition come out?
I don't remember. But that is I don't remember.
I think 2015.
So if you've done the games with gold all this time, like a lot of those games are included in this. So just as a consumer, I'm just like, I don't need this in the least bit. Like there was really nothing that made me interested in it. Like there was a couple games that were like old Sega Genesis games that were like remastered for it.
They were like the collection things.
Yeah.
There was like
Which I love those games, but like
the Street Fighter collections
Yeah.
of the old arcade games.
I think Golden Axe was one of them.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe. It was an old Sega Genesis game. One of my favorite Sega Genesis games. But that's, I
should
mean, I got
have
that on
one.
my computer. So, like, I can play that whenever I want to on there. It's not worth spending more money to play it on an Xbox One.
But then you can play it with more people.
Yeah, but that's
But
not
no, you
anything that
can't also-
matters to
you
me.
can't
I mean,
also
it's just
do
a
that,
single player game.
Because you have
for
the
me.
USB port thingy, so
Yeah.
you're able to plug that in multiple
Yeah.
times. Okay.
So, as far as the Xbox Game Pass goes, and I think I am giving it the review that I thought that I was going to
Out
give
of
it.
a 1 out of 10, what would you say?
For me,
Don't say
like,
negative.
I mean, a solid. I still like the concept of it. I love the concept of it, and I'm saying if I was a new Xbox One user,
Pretty sure Joey Fatone is the person that is, what's it called? Like,
I don't know.
advertising it.
Is he
Like,
really?
like on the cover,
That's stupid.
I'm pretty sure he's holding 3 Xbox games, and he's saying, and like the little bottom thing says,
That's-
Xbox Game Pass now available for gold members.
That's a real thing.
I don't know if it looks like him. I don't know if it actually is him. It looks like Joey. It looks like Joey Fat One.
Okay,
So-
that's stupid. But
I don't know if it is him though.
if I was just now buying into an Xbox One and into that whole game library, I think the Xbox Game Pass is perfect for that.
Yeah.
If I just now bought an Xbox One, I would be more than happy to pay $10 a month for all those games. But being an existing user for this long
also
and
why we said
having
the first one.
yeah, and having the collection that we have, it just makes this thing
Yeah.
completely useless for us.
Yeah.
They need to start putting some stuff in there. What I think they should start doing too is like some of these like indie games, because you know how I love like some of these
Yeah.
indie games and stuff. They should start
We
making
still
some.
have a lot inside.
Yeah, I still want to play that.
Yeah.
So what they need to do is they need to kind of come out with some of these games and like pull a Netflix on it to where it is an exclusive to the Xbox Game Pass. Like this new indie game that would only cost somebody like $15 or $20 to buy it anyway. But if it was something that was exclusive to the Game Pass and that was the only way you could play it, I think that would be really cool. And it'd be a really cool way to promote some indie games like that too. So maybe one day in the future. So whatever, Xbox Game Pass, not for us. But we did find another.
What's a 1 out of 10
Oh, I'm
rating?
sorry. I'll still give it I can't decide. Like, I want to say 4 or 5 because I still like the concept of it, but
So, like,
but it's not
you-
for me.
You like the concept, but you don't like the content.
That's for me.
That's
But
that's
I'm
a
not
really
every-
good description.
Yeah, but I'm not everybody. I understand I'm not everybody, but
That-
but
that's
I know that a lot
good-
of people do have the exact same type of game library that we do. We're not like some rare breed that just has a bunch of games. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
So it's just not for people that have had their Xbox for a while. I think that's all there is to it. But
I
regardless,
think that is what they're trying to go.
you're right. Yeah.
It's for the people who are just now buying the Xbox or like an Xbox One S at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if
But I
I don't
think
know
they
if
need
Project
to-
Scorpio's gonna have it though.
I'm sure it will. I think this
might.
will be a thing that's ongoing for a while, as long as it does decent.
Probably won't.
All right, but let's talk about some games that have come out recently. Let's touch on those for a little bit.
Add-on.
That we have got. So I have always been a huge Forza fan.
Have we talked about Forza yet?
I don't
think
think
we have.
so. I've just always been a huge car racing game fan since I was a little kid, and it
same.
started with RC Pro-Am on the Nintendo. And
I still like RC Pro-Am.
RC Pro-Am is one of the best
yeah.
games ever made. That's all there is to it.
That's saying something, though.
It is. But I've gone through every single generation of video game, and I've had racing games that I've loved on every single console that's ever existed. So right now, Forza is at the top of the game. They blow away everybody, hands down. It's the best reason to have an Xbox One, in my opinion, because the PS4 still doesn't have a blockbuster racing game like the Xbox One does. So,
okay, is it Gran Turismo or
Yes.
Gran
Grand
Turismo?
Turismo.
Okay.
I think there's different. It's a foreign
It's a
word.
U. There's a U
It is a
in there.
U. Turismo.
Okay, because Joe was talking about it.
It's like Forza.
Furniture.
Forza is not the actual way you say
it's
Forza.
Forza.
Forza, because it's an Italian word, is the actual way you say
No,
it.
it's not. It's Australian.
I think it's Italian. Australian.
I'm pretty sure it's Australian.
They don't. There's no
They
such
have a-
language as
Yeah,
Australian,
there is.
bro. I don't think there is.
I thought there was.
Anyway,
I think
Forza.
the guy that was talking about it at E3 last year was Australian because the place was. I think that's how I got confused.
Yes,
with that.
Forza Horizon 3 takes place in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, but Forza is an Italian word. All right, so anyway, they came out with an expansion, and Forza's expansions are always awesome. But the new one is a Hot Wheels pack. And Lane, who's never really been a huge Forza fan, because he wasn't
suck at
always...
them.
Okay, I see, I was trying to be nice. Lane sucks at Forza, and he sucks at Gran Turismo. He sucks at the realistic...
I've never really played
racing
Gran
games.
Turismo.
And-
Gran Turismo
Okay,
is
it was a little bit
not-
before your time, because there hasn't been
Yeah.
a good one recently.
because we don't have a because
There is not one for the PS4, bro.
isn't?
No, they still haven't made one for
what was
the PS4.
the one that we have on the PS3?
We have Gran Turismo 5 and 6 on
Then
the
Sport is
PS3.
the one that's coming out in probably
Yeah.
500 years.
It looks stupid. It looks awful. But so anyway, so Lane never a big fan of the realistic racing games, which essentially means you have to press the brake button.
Yep.
Most people, when they play a driving game, if they're not used to the realistic type games, you just hold down the
Need for
gas
Speed.
and
Need
you
for
just
Speed
keep
is
going.
the kind of racing game I play.
Yeah, which
So-
I play those too, and I love
Yeah,
those.
like Most Wanted.
But
That's
those
one of
games,
my
like,
favorite racing games.
You don't have to use the
ever.
brakes so much on those. You can
Yeah.
run into cars and bounce off of stuff,
Yeah.
but that's not how these
I don't
realistic
care if
games
I'm
work.
busted.
Yeah, so you have to use the brake, and Lane always had a hard time using the brake. So, but now there's a Hot Wheels expansion for Forza, and it is just so awesome that it finally kind of caught Lane's interest, and he really
And then
wanted...
I had to play the game
Then
for
he's
like
like, "All
2
right,
hours
yeah."
until I actually got to that
So now
point.
Lane has learned how to press the brake button when you're going around corners, and he's actually become a pretty good little Forza driver. So we spent a
And
little
I
bit
still
of
have a
time...
Ferrari, and they think I'm going to take a really sharp V-turn
Yeah.
with a Ferrari that's going 200 miles an hour.
So, but as far as just the expansion itself goes, it's so awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
you really are... You're driving around on orange track, just like a Hot Wheels. There's the crazy boost things that make you speed up and go fast.
And
you
at
go
one point-
you go up mountains and
Yeah.
all around in curves, and you go in loops and all this
And
stuff.
at one point in
but
like
it's still
the first,
Forza.
At one point in like the first race, you're driving, and then like a helicopter brings the track in that's
Yeah.
like right in front of you, and
Yeah.
I'm like, they should build the track before.
They should.
Yeah, it
But
would
it
be way
was-
more safer.
It was so well done, though. I think, I mean, as far as I think it's very well known that I'm not a huge fan of DLC and add-ons and paying more money than what you've already paid to get the
Wasn't
game.
it- how much
some
was
of
that?
some of them really bother me, like charging, like with the whole like Mortal Kombat universe and Injustice. Like you pay $5 for just one character for DLC, and like to
Okay.
me that's ridiculous.
Once we get to Injustice, I need to tell you why the DLC for Injustice is so cool.
Okay, we'll get there. So, but for Forza, their expansion, it's $20 is how much their DLC is. And I feel like the Hot Wheels expansion, which is $20 is a little more than a lot of the other ones, but it's the same price as like...
Is that how much the Hot Wheels expansion was?
Yeah, $20, yes.
Dang. At least it does have enough content to...
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, is I feel that...
Do you know how much Blizzard Mountain is? Is that
they're
also $20?
all of the big updates for Forza are always $20. There was a
Because
combo
they're
that
so
you could
awesome.
buy that was $35 that was for Blizzard Mountain and for
Or you could
Hot
just
Wheels.
buy the season pass. You should have just bought the
From
season
now
pass.
on, for Forza, I will buy the season pass. I
Because
will
you know
not.
how good the
Yes.
updates
I
and
trust
add-ons
them.
are.
I have no reason to think that they're going to rip
'Cause
me
you,
off anymore.
You wanted
so,
that Porsche one at one
Yeah.
point. What was
So-
the other one?
so I
NASCAR.
got the NASCAR. That was for Forza
Yeah.
Motorsport.
Oh,
I got
still Forza.
yeah, I got the NASCAR one for that one. I
Yeah.
paid $20 for that one too. So
So
but yeah.
all of them are always 20.
So if you're a racing game fan, Forza's where it's at, and especially the Hot Wheels one. It's so
Yeah.
much fun. So
I could even tell because I uploaded a video on my channel about it.
yeah,
And in less than 24 hours, it already got 50 views.
yeah,
Which is
that was your best viewed
crazy.
video ever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Within that amount of time.
Yeah.
So that shows
And,
how cool
well,
Forza
most
is.
viewed video ever, and the most viewed video in that time.
Nice.
So
Well,
it
that's
beat the
awesome.
first. My highest at that point, I'm pretty sure, was either the cakewalk video or the first Howdy Radio video that I put on.
Yeah, I know the
which-
first Howdy Radio did
Yeah, that
really
blew
well.
up. I
Yeah.
was actually kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be because Howdy Radio is awesome.
Well,
All right,
yeah.
let's wrap up this. Let's wrap up this this video game segment. We also
Well, no, we
bought.
still-
I know we still
yeah.
got one more to talk about here real quick. We bought a new game. It was really the first new $60 game that we've bought in quite some time now. I don't honestly remember what the last
Yeah.
one was. It's been a while.
I can't.
But anyway, Injustice 2. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I have been since the very first one was in the very first Mortal Kombat was in the arcade. I have followed the series from I have played every single Mortal Kombat
Did
game.
NetherRealm originally?
They
have it?
weren't called NetherRealm at that time.
Do you know what they were originally called? Do you forget?
They were the original people of Mortal Kombat was Midway. Midway was
Oh,
the
okay.
ones that
Yeah.
made Mortal Kombat. Midway went out
kinda
of
stupid.
business.
Yeah.
And when Midway went under, then they bought the rights
Haven't they
to
didn't Midway come back or no?
not that I'm aware of.
Oh.
But once they went under, then the people that the company that made Mortal Kombat, they bought the rights to it, and then that's when they formed NetherRealm.
NetherRealm.
So
Which I love
so
that name.
yes, so I have always been a huge Mortal Kombat fan. It's one of my favorite series to ever exist in video games. So then, a few years ago, they made a different fighting game, which was Injustice, which was still the same Mortal Kombat engine. It was the same thing, just not so bloody and gory
Yeah.
and over the top.
It
And
was kind of like
and it's DC.
it was in the
comic
middle.
book characters.
It was in the middle of Mortal Kombat and the not Marvel. Was it Marvel? And the DC versus Mortal Kombat game. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was kind of that in the middle because it wasn't
That was a
like,
cool game too.
It wasn't like super like kid friendly as the
Yeah.
DC versus Mortal Kombat game was, which I didn't really like that much.
I liked that game. I thought
It
that was
was
a cool
it
game.
was okay, but like the super.
But
things
again,
that
I'm just
they
such a
had
Mortal
were
Kombat
really
fanboy.
stupid.
I got you.
Like they got rage from like Green Lantern or
Yeah.
something.
So Injustice was awesome. We had Injustice when it came out. So Injustice is essentially Mortal Kombat, but instead of Mortal Kombat fighters, it's DC characters. So you got
Which is
Batman.
the coolest concept ever.
Except for, especially even now especially on Injustice 2, I don't know who most of these characters are. But
How
admittedly, I don't watch the Flash, and
only-
I don't know hardly
The
anything
only
about
thing
DC
that
anymore.
The only character that I did not know was Cheetah. That was the only character I did
there's
not
almost
know.
half of them that I have no
Yeah.
idea who they are. But that doesn't matter to me because they're just characters on a video
Cheetah's
game that's
stupid
fighting.
anyway.
So it's whatever. So this one has Batman, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn has been my go-to one, of course. There's no
Me.
surprise there. Flash has been your main guy.
You about to ask me who
No,
my main
what
was?
level is Flash up to?
18 still, I'm pretty sure.
20 is the highest, huh? You're almost there. My Harley Quinn character, I think, is 7, maybe 8 or something, which is good for me. Whatever. I don't put the time into it like you do. So,
Guys try to stream
and
it
me and
every
you,
day
and
for
me
like
and
3
you
hours.
played. We fought earlier today. It was the
Don't
first
call
time
it
you and
fought.
I fought in a little while, in a few days, and you demolished me.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's go back to one player taking turns because
And
Lane
then-
just
and
kills
then
me at this point.
Then the second time, who did you play as? You played as Catwoman, and I played as Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
I
and
thought
still
at the
whooped
first
me.
time that I played Blue Beetle, well, I saw Blue Beetle, and it reminded me of I think it was The Blue and the Bold. Do you remember that show that I used to watch? It was
The
Blue
Batman
Beetle.
show?
Well, it wasn't a Batman show. Batman was in it most of the time.
Oh. I don't remember the name of it, but I think I know what you're talking
It
about.
was, I think it was Batman,
Yeah.
the Brave and the Bold.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yeah,
it was, okay.
Yeah.
And just, he was like the sidekick. And that's how I got into Blue Beetle.
Gotcha.
And then when I opened up when
I
saw that
because-
he was in the game, I was like, oh, that's cool, I might try him
Gotcha.
out. And he looked really stupid. And then I actually played him in the story mode. And he's so good. And his moves are so, like, awesome, I guess.
God, we played a Swamp Thing earlier, and admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about Swamp Thing, but I've always thought he's a cool character, just the way he looks and stuff.
He's a swamp.
But as far as like Mortal Kombat and these games go, I'm never a fan of being the big person. I'm always the smaller, faster person. I'm throughout Mortal Kombat, the girls were usually always my favorite fighters because they were faster, and that's how I like to play. And it's the same way on this game. I like being Harley Quinn. I like being Catwoman. I've just always had a thing for being the girls on these games because of how fast
and you like
they are.
Catwoman.
Yeah, and Harley Quinn as well. Yeah.
That's why you went to go see the Batman movie like 5 times.
Whatever.
Because you liked
We
Catwoman.
talked about this before. But it's an awesome game. So you can fight through, and now it's a little different to where of course you get these stupid boxes that you unlock.
Call them on the box.
Everything has to have stupid boxes and crates, and I'm so tired of all of
Okay,
that. But it's cool though. It gives you like
At
different
least you
armor.
don't have to buy credits or mother boxes. You
You'll
can
be
buy
able to.
credit. Yes, you are
you
able to
already-
buy
okay,
credits,
yeah.
but you're able to earn the credits. Like unlike
Yeah.
Rocket League, like you have to buy the keys to open the crates.
I gotcha.
But-
I hate it so much. I hate it.
And then you're
But
able
this
to
one
like
isn't
sell your
so bad.
items to get credits,
Yeah.
which is what I've been doing a lot when I get a
Yeah.
bunch of like epic items
Yeah.
for characters I don't
Yeah,
use.
this one's cool. Like if you play through, one of the different things, like you'll unlock some stuff, and it might be like a different.
Multiverse is what I've been
Yeah.
getting a bunch of my stuff in.
You'll unlock something, and it'll be like anything from like different. It'll be like new boots for Batman or something, which will make them like
We were
this
doing-
much faster, or like it'll be like a new gun for Harley Quinn, which does more damage when you shoot somebody
It was
with
really
it. So it's
funny.
pretty cool.
So we were playing a Swamp Thing in
sucks
the
so bad.
multiverse. You were good at Swamp
I
Thing.
hated him though. God,
You were
his
good at
special
him.
moves are so awful.
They're cool though.
No, they're not.
No,
I
like,
hated everything
no,
about
like
Swamp
they didn't
Thing.
do that much damage, but they looked really cool.
Yeah,
They
but
looked
I
cool.
hated being
But,
him. I will never purposely choose
when-
him again.
When you beat, I think you beat Supergirl, and you got new gear.
Yeah,
And there was the first one
Yeah.
was cyborg arms.
Yeah.
And he thought that the cyborg arms were for Swamp Thing, but
Yeah.
it was for Cyborg. It
Yeah.
was Cyborg's
well, because
arms.
I think, and maybe this is just me, but I think it's a little weird, like being Swamp Thing and doing something good and then getting awarded for it. And getting something for somebody else.
But then you would-
So in my head, I was like, well, I won with Swamp Thing. They should be giving me something to upgrade my Swamp Thing. But that's not how it
But
works.
at one
you
point,
win
you
one
can only
thing and
have
it gets...
50 things a gear for one person.
Yeah,
So they
I got you.
gotta
It's all over the
spread it
place.
out.
Yeah, I get it. But
And they were like
in my head, that's
15
what I was
characters.
thinking, and that's why I was like, cyborg arms for
Yeah.
Swamp Thing. Like, that's... Well, because there is also on that game, like, there's some of the stuff that it does that, like, makes the characters look stupid, even. Like, there are some
We'll talk about
things...
Flash about that, because there's
there's
a reverse Flash and a Gigant.
There's some of the
If you have
characters that with these different add-ons that just look dumb. And, like, off the bat, just the Joker looks dumb. So it's not like it's a perfect
He's
game
dead.
or anything like that.
He's a hallucination.
But
He's
that doesn't mean that he
dead.
doesn't look dumb.
He's emo.
He looks...
His super move is cool though.
He looks...
His super move is super
Okay,
cool.
I'm not saying his super move. I'm talking about the look of his character is
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, it's
So it
pretty bad.
almost wouldn't surprise me if they're like, oh, let's give Swamp Thing cyborg arms.
Yeah.
So it was... I don't think it was too crazy of a thing.
Well, I do have
1 out of 10. What do you give it?
9.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, I
There
give it
is
a
a
good...
couple things that, like the hero card, that kind of stuff. I like it, but I also dislike it because you gotta. I know you gotta earn it, but you only get like 2 things at the beginning of it, and it's just Batman, Supergirl, and Superman. But like it's like play Injustice, and then it's like welcome to Injustice, and then the last one is like play another realm. Like guy or something. It's like play another realm producer, like gameplay guide to make sure like it's correct or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, what will it give you for that? Will it give you the guy's face?
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
know.
I don't know what you're talking about in the least
No,
bit.
it's like play like online and like play against another realm developer.
Okay, gotcha.
So like find that guy and play
Gotcha.
against him.
Gotcha.
I don't think you got to beat him.
But there's all
because
kinds of. They'll end up releasing all kinds of DLC for it, and they'll.
They already announced a couple DLC.
Yeah.
Red Hood. We
Yeah.
have to get Red Hood.
Yeah, about that. I'm not paying
No.
$5 a character.
No,
Dude,
we have to get
even-
Red Hood.
Listen to me. This is how against
so
paying
cool.
$5 a character I am. On the last Mortal Kombat game, they released DLC that was Leatherface and Jason Voorhees. Two of my favorite characters to ever exist in the history of anything. And I wouldn't pay $5 a piece for them.
Okay.
I
if
just-
you
I
don't
just-
buy
I won't do
if
it.
you don't buy Red Hood, I will buy Red
You
Hood.
do what you want. Well, we'll talk about that later. All right, so game score, you say 9 out of 10? I'd say for sure. Like a
nine
solid,
and
like,
3/4.
no, it's not. You can't do that.
Yeah, I can.
That's too much.
I can do 9 and
No,
3/4.
9 and 3/4 is like
9 and 3/4 is a Harry
Oblivion.
Potter thing.
no. Okay, 9 and 3/4 is like Oblivion or Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Why
Not-
would you not give Oblivion a 10?
Well, because it's not. I mean, yeah, you can't. Okay, whatever.
You
But
say
yeah,
Oblivion's
it's a great game.
like the greatest game of all
It
time.
is. You're right. That's a solid 10.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have talked crap about it.
Yeah. You never talk
Mike Tyson's
about
Punch
Oblivion
Out.
in this house.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out then 9 and 3/4. Anyway,
We were talking about Mike
so
Tyson's
awesome
Punch
game.
Out
If you're
today.
into Mortal Kombat games or if you're into the DC universe or whatever they call it,
Multiverse.
then you might as well pick it up. I was, I'm not sad that I spent $60 on it at all. Well worth
No.
it. Actually, yeah,
You
me and Lin-
spent 30
You're right. I
bucks.
spent 30 right before it came out. I was like, man, I do wish I had $60, but I don't have $60 to spend on this game. And then Lane was like, I got $30. You want to
Yeah.
split Injustice 2 with me? And I'm like, I do have $30. I don't have 60, but
Yeah.
I do have 30.
Yeah.
And we both want the game, so this is perfect. So we split it and we got the game. So we might have to start doing that a little bit more in the future, so I don't have to spend $60.
That's a great idea.
It is.
Like maybe for the next Forza game, maybe we should do that. No, I'll pay like 15.
We'll
You'll
get
pay
there
45.
later. So that's our.
'Cause
That's
you'll play
what's-
it more than me.
That's the video game stuff that's been going on.
Yep.
All right, so one of the other things that I think we talked about on the first episode was the Gorillaz
Gorillaz.
having a new album. We were talking about, I think their festival is what we were talking about on the first episode,
Yeah.
and then a couple episodes later we
Because we
finally
didn't actually know about the album yet.
right, a couple episodes later they finally announced
Oh.
the album, and then the album came out right before we went to Disney World, and then so now it's been out
28th.
for a little while, and we haven't discussed it, so I guess this is considered old news to most, but we
Yes.
felt that we had to come back to it because we never really got there. So, new Gorillaz album, Humans, it's out. It's been out for a while, which I kind of like because sometimes I really disagree with like reading an album review the day that the album comes out. Because that means that the person that wrote the review
Listen to like
listened
one
to it
time.
like one or two times. And if it's a good album, or any album for that matter, that's not enough times to really understand what that album is about and to really review it. So now I feel like we've had a month with it. So I feel like, nobody wants to hear a month-old review, but I feel like
A
that
month in one day.
I feel like that makes more sense than doing it on the day it comes out. I really do. So, new Gorillaz album, Humans, Lane, your thoughts.
It's really good, and I remember the day it came out, you turned it on, and I was super confused because the intro, because they're like kind of known for the intros and
They
the
always have
albums.
really good intros.
Yeah, like the intro for Plastic Beach was really good, and then it went
Snoop
right.
Dogg.
Then it went right into Welcome to the Plastic Beach.
Yeah.
Then the intro of Demon Days was really good.
They always do a
but then
great
this
job with
one
intros.
Wasn't that good?
It sucked.
It didn't suck.
Okay.
If you listen to it as many times as I did,
Okay.
you actually listened to it, and it wasn't that bad, because
It's the worst intro they've done, hands
it
down.
is.
Okay.
Is there an intro to the fall and stuff?
The fall doesn't count.
The fall is considered an album.
It doesn't
though.
count.
Okay. But like
It's their
I
worst
have
intro
not
yet.
I have not listened to the actual album yet. Well, I have, but I listened to the deluxe because
Yeah.
on Spotify they don't
It's
have
the
the actual
deluxe.
album.
Well,
Like,
you
they
just have to
the
stop
deluxe.
5 songs before the deluxe is over.
Well,
the last 5 songs are the deluxe songs.
The last couple songs are okay. They're not good. Like Halfway to the Halfway House. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Typically, the rule
But-
of thumb is it didn't end up on the album, so it's not going to be as good as anything that's on the album. It's just bonus crap they put on
But
there.
at least we're able
I
to
mean, every
listen
once in
to
a while,
it.
bands do that, and those are really good songs.
But on a
It's-
scale to 1 to 10, how would you rate it?
I
Well,
did-
what are your thoughts?
I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't really let down by it.
Wasn't as
I
bad
mean,
as the fall.
I wish that I enjoyed it more than I do, of course, but that doesn't make me like the Gorillaz any less. I'm always one that's, not every album can be fantastic. Everybody always has an album that's not quite as good as the rest of them. But my problem with it is that every song, I think but one, features, and I think it's every single song, but you corrected me at one point and said
Okay.
every song but one.
Well-
But anyway, they all feature somebody else doing the vocals on it, which of course is something the
There's
Gorillaz...
one song that does not have a special guest, but then there's another song with a special guest, but he doesn't have vocals. He's
Okay.
like a DJ.
Okay.
He's Drum, I think that's how you say it. It's just DRAM. It's like the periods.
Yeah.
But that was Andromeda, which was one of the first songs we actually heard.
Yeah, okay. So, but my problem is not that there's special guests. Gorillaz have always been known for having special guests on their album.
But it's
But
not
with-
Snoop Dogg.
But with this one, I mean, I don't know any of them, but that doesn't really matter to me. It's more people that it's relevant now that I'm not into that scene of music, so I don't
There were
really...
a couple of people that I kind of wanted to listen to a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
because
that's what you
like
should-
their vocals a little bit.
That's what they're going for. I
yeah.
mean, they want you to check out these other musicians that are
That's
not...
exactly what they're trying.
That's what Gorillaz is all about.
Damon Albarn is how you say
Yeah.
his name. Like, he even said that in an interview that they have so many special guests because they want other people to listen to the special guests.
You know why else? What another reason he said why all the special guests were on this album?
Why?
Because he was trying to impress his daughter. Because his daughter is into that kind of music.
Like, that
So-
has lots of special guests?
No, like the special guests that are on the album, like these hip hop artists that aren't the hip hop artists that are on the radio and stuff
Yeah.
like that. She's into that kind of stuff. So he said he was trying to impress her by look at all these cool artists that I can get. So he said he kind of might have went overboard with how many he
Yeah.
ended up getting because he
Yeah.
can get whoever he wants. But anyway, because of all the special guests, I thought it meant that you did not get to hear the Gorillaz as much as I would like to hear the
you were to
Gorillaz
listen
on
to-
a Gorillaz album.
If you were to listen to Bustin' Blue a million times, you would not say that because
But that's one song,
That
man.
song
There
is
needs-
so good.
But there needs to be more. So, but here's the other thing
It is a
too.
slower song though.
Here's the
so-
other thing too. When the album first came out, Lane got really, really mad at me because when it came out, I didn't listen to it right away. And I tried to explain to Lane that I'm weird with my music. I have to be in the mood
Can't-
for certain types of music at different times. That's just how it is, man. It's how I've been
Then
for a very,
you
very
cannot
long time.
listen to that because that's a million different types of music.
Well, yeah,
Then
I
you
got you
could
there.
never listen to a Gorillaz album if you're
So
in
when
that
it
kind of mood.
so when it came out, and even a lot since then, I've been in a heavier rock, heavy metal mood. It's lasted me for a couple months at this point. It's just been kind of my thing for a little while now. So I've had a hard time. Veering. What did you say?
Did you hear my
I did
joke?
not. What?
Because you've been listening to metal for a while, and I said all my life, and that was a joke
Gotcha,
to
yeah.
Saturn Boys.
Oh, I want to tell a funny story about a metal thing.
Oh, my
All right, here
life.
we go. So I didn't really latch on to the album when it came out, so it took me a little while to get it. And then a week after that album came out, the new Afghan Wigs album came out, who is in my top 5 all time.
We talked about Afghan Wigs also.
Yeah, we did.
That was second or first episode.
Yeah. I don't
think that
remember
was
which
first.
one.
I
Yeah,
think
they
that was
announced
first.
their new album. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're one of my top 5 all-time favorite bands. They are way ahead of the Gorillaz as far as my favorite bands go, and always will be.
Because they
So
still
the new
produce albums.
So the new Afghan Wigs album came out, and the minute it came out, I was listening to it. And that made Lane mad because why are you listening to the new
So
Wigs album when you
dumb.
should be listening? I'm like, dude, you don't even get it. So anyway, but the new Wigs album, fantastic album. And I bought tickets. I'm going to go see them at Bogart's in Cincinnati in September, and it's going to be amazing. They're one of the greatest bands to ever
Has
exist.
Gorilla said anything about the festival yet?
No, not in the United States, no. So that's that. So the Gorillaz album, in my opinion, meh. But Lane loves it, and I'm glad
On a
that
scale of 1 to 10, how much?
2, really bad. I mean, that's the.
I feel like it cannot be a 2.
In
I
my
feel like-
opinion, it's a 2.
If like I listen to it and I almost know every single one to all of the songs. Yeah, I skip a couple.
And that's
songs.
awesome. I'm glad that
skip
you
a
like it
couple
as much
songs
as
I
you
don't
do.
really like.
Yeah, because they suck. But anyway, I'm glad that you like it as much as you do. I think that it's great to get into bands like that. I would much rather you listen to that than the crap that's on the radio. But you like that stuff too. But whatever. But I'm glad that you like it as much as you do. And I hope that it's something you listen to forever
that
and enjoy.
album kind of did make me listen to a couple newer things. Like now I've listened to like a little bit more electronic music. Like while I game.
Yeah.
Like while
Listen to whatever you
while
want
I
to listen to,
stream,
man.
like
You well know that I'm all for you. Listen to whatever
I've
you want to
listened
listen
back
to.
to Green Day now.
There's been a lot of Green Day going on in this house lately.
Tyler
for
turned
sure.
it on once, and
I
then
love
now
Green
we're
Day,
like,
man.
yeah, Green Day's the best band of all time.
I'm the same way. I get that way, like, because Green Day isn't usually, like, one of my go-tos. Like, I don't turn them on that often.
Yeah.
And then, and I also don't ever really turn them on my Pandora at work because the music that goes along with Green Day radio, I hate because it plays, like, Blink-182 and all this stuff that, like, I can't
why wouldn't
stand
it?
those bands. But I like Green Day. So because of that, I don't listen to Green Day while I'm at work, which I always listen to music when I'm at work.
those-
We got
one Blink-182 song.
Bro, I can't even begin to explain to you how much I hate Blink-182. They are one of my least favorite bands to ever exist. So,
That's saying something.
so I like it that somebody hit play on Green Day a few days ago, and we've been listening to them a lot lately because I love Green Day. I love everything they've
At one point I was listening,
done for the most
At
part.
one point I was listening to it, and I was listening to the live concerts
Yeah,
and the
Bullet in a Bible one.
what?
Bullet in a Bible.
No.
That was the live American Idiot album.
The live it was also American Idiot.
I love
but-
American Idiot, man.
and
Like
that's one of the greatest rock albums.
I totally agree with you.
yeah.
I totally agree with you. And everybody
it was the
that's
holiday
my
part.
age freaking hates New Green
It was
Day.
also-
Everybody's like, "Oh, Dookie's their best album." And
It
which
was the awesomest Bleep
awesome.
live show.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
And
I forgot about that one.
me and Tyler, that's the only live one that we would listen to.
Okay.
But
Bullet in a Bible was a DVD, so maybe that's not on
Yeah,
Spotify. Then
But
I forgot.
Holiday, at the beginning of Holiday, do you want to start bleeping wars? How the beginning of that song starts. And mommy put into the driveway to go to the zoo when that song turned on.
Nice.
That was.
We
it
should
was
go see
really
Green Day
bad.
live one of these days.
I
That would be
I
a
would
lot
like
of fun.
Because they say, like, they do a lot more stuff than, like, in the songs. Like, some bands just play the songs and they don't
Yeah.
really
Green Day's a lot of
interact
fun
more.
live.
They say all kinds, like, it was, what was the one that they do 1, 2, 3, 4 thing? What song is that?
I don't know.
But, like, at one point they said, he was, like, the lead singer, who's the lead singer?
Billy Joe Armstrong.
He was like, what's to say, 1, 2, 3, 4, I want everybody to go bleeping crazy.
Gotcha.
And then he said it, and you could hear, like,
Yeah.
the band, like, I guess they, like, turned him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the crowd was so loud,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
I saw Green Day live in 1998, I think it was. It was on the Nimrod tour at Bogart's in Cincinnati. I was like 5 feet away from the band. It was a really, really, really great show. I want to tell a story real quick, and then we'll get back to where we are. We're talking about funny rock and roll stories. So I think I told you this story. A couple nights ago, I went to see a band live named Deicide.
The glasses
Probably
thing.
nobody knows.
The mosh pit. Yeah.
Probably nobody. I don't think a lot of people know who Deicide are. Deicide are. At this point, they're the grandfathers of satanic death metal. Is about the best way I can put who they are. They're
Like
one of those.
Gore? Like that kind of thing?
Nope,
No.
different kind of metal.
Gore is just like chopping
see,
off people's heads.
My kids know who Guar is. That's because I'm a good dad.
I haven't heard really anything,
Yeah,
but I
that's-
just know.
For a reason. So, so
off
Deicide, they're death metal. They're very, very fast metal. Their lead singer sounds like blah, 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 blah. And you can't understand. Although there's probably metal that I listen to that my kids probably think sound exactly the same. And I'm like, no way, bro. That's a completely different kind of metal.
I can't think.
Like
of
like the other day I went to Deicide and I was talking crap about how Deicide sounds, and then the next day I was listening to High on Fire, which is a very heavy band, and I'm thinking to myself, like, somebody's going to call me out on it being pretty similar.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's not. It's just because I'm weird. But anyway,
Metallica isn't that heavy.
no, Metallica, they're wusses compared to some of the stuff that I listen to.
They probably weren't wusses at one point.
You're right, but now they're
Before
old
they-
men
before
that
they got
are about
old,
as
they
wuss
were
as it
not.
comes. Yes.
Before they went to Antarctica,
Yes.
they were not.
All right, so I'm at a Deicide concert the other night. I ended up with free tickets to it. I'm not a fan of these guys anymore. I liked them when I was a kid just because I was into their album covers and stuff. So I got free
Makes no sense at all.
That's how it goes, man. So I got free tickets to it. So I was like, I liked them when I was a kid, and I'm like, regardless, I'm not into them. I like, being able to say, like, Deicide, they are a very important band to that genre of music. So I think it's cool that I can say that I've seen them. Yeah. That's just kind of how I work
Put it
with
on your
concerts.
band
That's
list.
exactly. I like adding bands to my list. I can say I saw them. So I get to this Deicide concert the other day, and it is the most brutal mosh pit I have seen at a concert in probably a decade. And, like, I'm usually pretty good with being, I don't get in the pit anymore, but I'm usually good with being just kind of right outside it. I don't care if somebody bumps into me, I'll push them back into the pit. I still enjoy doing that kind of
Slap 'em
stuff,
in the
even though I'm
face.
old. No, I don't smack anybody in the face. But this pit, I stayed on the, it was in a small little club, but I stayed on the complete opposite side of the room. I wanted nothing to do with this mosh pit. I would have came home sore and hurt and possibly bloody, just like the mosh pits I used to get in when I was a kid. But I wanted nothing to do with it this time. So I'm standing on the other side of the room for this concert. And then, I don't know, halfway through the show or something, I see this guy, he's got his phone out, and he's got his flashlight on the back turned on, and he's looking down to the ground. And as he's doing this, a security guard walks up to him. And this security guard was an older dude. Like, he was for sure, like, at least in his 50s.
I don't understand how
I don't know why they had an old security guard working
I
a
feel like they
Deicide
should
show.
have a different shift.
I don't
from a
know.
70s.
But here's this
Like,
old security
or
guy
70-year-old
walking around,
guy.
being a nice guy, and he's looking at this dude. He's like, and I couldn't hear the whole interaction. The band was in between songs at this point. They're tuning.
They were taking like an intermission.
Not an intermission. They were
Well,
it was like a
intermission between
one.
songs.
Yeah, it was just like a
Yeah.
1 minute between songs where the band changes their tunings on their guitars
Did
and
they
stuff.
do that like the
Bands
whole
do
entire
that.
time?
Bands do that all the time. They have to tune in
Well,
between
probably,
songs.
yeah, station death metal probably because they have to do all kinds of tuning for the lower stuff.
You're right.
I know stuff about guitars.
I know you do. So it's in between songs, and so I can kind of hear him talking, and I hear the guy with the phone say something about glasses. So I assume that he dropped his glasses and he's looking for them. So the nice security guard that he is, he pulls out his flashlight, and now he's kind of walking around the place helping this dude look for his glasses. As he's looking for his glasses, Deicide kicks in, they start the next song, and the entire place turns into a mosh pit all over again. And this old dude who's helping a guy look for his glasses stuck right in the middle of the mosh pit, and everybody
so
goes
not
nuts.
the guy that couldn't find his glasses.
I'm not exactly sure where he went. I couldn't
think
see him.
He might have probably also went because they were
He
right
probably
next to
did,
each other,
yes.
probably.
But I didn't, just from my vantage point, I lost the guy that was looking for his glasses, and all I saw was the security guard, because that's really all I was looking at the time. I was like, oh man, that old dude just got caught in a mosh, and that's no good. But then it was cool, because, like, I mean, it just happened. Like, the song started, and everybody just went nuts. And then, like, kind of as it happened, everybody realized, like, oh, there's, like, this old man stuck in the middle of our mosh pit. And everybody stopped, and, like, everybody went up to him and, like, oh, like, we're sorry, are you okay, are you good? And then, like, he was fine. Yeah. And he got out of the mosh pit, and everybody continued to mosh. But it was hilarious watching this old dude who was trying to be nice, helping somebody, and he just got caught in the middle of this very violent mosh pit. Yeah. But so that was my fun Deicide story. That was worth going alone. So I think that's it. We had Gorillaz. Oh, we had Chris Cornell passed away since the last time we talked, and that was extremely sad, and that bummed me out extremely a lot. So I listened to a lot of Soundgarden and some Audio Slave that weekend and stuff, and he had his funeral this weekend. Do you like sound? I mean, I listened to a lot of Soundgarden that weekend.
I'm pretty sure one of the songs that I like from radio is it from Soundgarden?
I don't know what song.
Creep from... No, that's Radiohead.
No, that's Radiohead, yeah.
Is Radiohead also with Chris Cornell?
No. I hate Radiohead.
Why?
I like Creep, but everything other than that, I have a distaste for... Anyway, so, but Soundgarden I fell on Black Days, Black Hole Sun, Spoon Man, Al Shine. You know all of those songs.
No, Black Hole Sun's really the only one that... Well, that's really the only one that I can think of the title of. Okay. All those other songs I probably do know very well and could probably say all the lyrics to those songs.
Probably,
But I do not know the actual title of the songs.
Gotcha. So that one really bummed me out because, I mean, Chris Cornell was one of the main Seattle guys. I mean, he really was, like, responsible for a lot that came out of Seattle during that time, which obviously affected my life and made me who I am today, basically. So it was a real big bummer to hear that. So bummer that he's gone. But at least we'll always have his music to listen to because that's how that works. And we will always, always, always listen to it.
That's why we love Spotify.
Yeah, and records and yeah.
Mostly just records for you.
I love records.
You don't listen to Spotify that.
So, bummer we lost Chris Cornell. And that's about the understatement of the century. Yep. So, I can't think of any more albums that are coming out here soon for us to talk about.
I can't think of anything.
I got a couple more concerts coming up. Summertime is always concert time. Yeah. I got All Them Witches coming up. I got, me and Taggart's going to try to go see the Melvins again. I have tickets for Metallica up in Detroit. Me and my buddy David's going to...
Detroit?
Yeah, we're going to make a 4-hour road trip up to Detroit to see Metallica at some big, huge baseball stadium. And then we got tickets to something else that I haven't told anybody about yet. So we'll come back to that later.
Like now?
No. So I think that's all we've got for this little segment of the show, right?
I guess so.
All right, so that's it. We're back. We talked about a lot this week. We had a lot to talk about. Next week
we talked about it,
and we'll be back to normal next week.
Hopefully,
we hope.
We don't have any. We kind of do because next week is Mammoth Cave.
No, Mammoth Cave is in the middle of the week, so we don't. I think.
But
at
we
this
still
point,
have to get packing and stuff. And
we'll be all right. We'll be back next weekend, everybody. And
hopefully.
We're sorry to everybody. It was cool that we had some people asking us when's the show coming back.
Shows that you guys care.
At least that shows that we got some fans out there, and we really appreciate that. So we will try our best to stick with it, and thanks for sticking it out with us.
Hasn't this been like the longest Howdy Radio thing that you've done yet? Or
no.
What was your longest episode that you've done? Like,
I don't remember specifically, but back when we were doing like the Ustream days and stuff, like we did 7 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was a for sure thing, I think.
That's 7 weeks in a row. We already did 7 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I don't know what the longest is. I have absolutely no clue. So, but that's it. We're back and we're going to stick with it because we love doing it.
Yep.
See you next week.